Hello, hello. Welcome to this month's May Intuitive Guidance. I am Julie Reisler. I am a mentor and master life coach and the author of Get a PhD in You, founder of the Life Designer Coach Academy, and I'm also the TEDx speaker of Get a PhD in You and Words That Get in the Way. I am so excited to be here with you for this intuitive guidance and to talk about the energy, this beautiful spring, refreshing energy that is coming our way in May. Yay! So I just want to welcome you. If you're new here in this community or with me, I'm also host of the You-est podcast, and you can find a really lovely, beautiful, soulful community on Facebook at the You-est podcast community. And I want to make sure if you have not yet taken my intuitive quiz, it is free. Just go to juliereisler.com/free quiz and you can really dive into and find out what is your dominant intuitive type. I don't want to give it away, but we all have one, and it will certainly give you a lot of resources and ways to tap into your intuition. So thank you for joining me. I'm thrilled to be here with you, and I'm excited to get started. The energy for this month, it's very interesting because we are really headed into what is typically, the springtime in May is really about blossoming and blooming and fresh energy. And oftentimes those seeds that we planted, we begin to see them peeking up. We see the flowers, we see our garden, the grass is coming up. There's a lot of life. There's a lot of like, oh yeah, okay, winter for those of us, especially on the northern hemisphere, those who've been through the winter. I know some of you might live in a warmer climate, but if you've been through a long winter, this is like really a time of remembering, oh yeah, things are happening under the surface. Mother Nature has always got the most brilliant plan going. So I'm going to start us all out. I really love starting with cards. And I'm just going to share, these are mine. I use the You-est intention cards. You can use whatever cards you like. I also have many different decks of oracle cards. I like these, A, because they have the energy that I infused in them, but also I love picking intentions. And just, I would say that, having a practice where you're pulling cards and kind of noticing what comes up and tracking both the card and does it resonate and how does that impact your month, or maybe it's around the new moon or the full moon, just keeping track can help you get more connected to your own intuition and to what these cards are saying. So I have found it to be very powerful. And if you're not new here, you know that this is the way I like to begin getting into the intuitive guidance. So I'm going to shuffle these cards and just see what comes up. And we always like to pick two. So here we go. May is also the month of miracles. Miracles and really incredible life changes. Often, things that we've been praying for or wanting or intending is a powerful time. So let's see what we got, my friend. I'm so curious. What are the cards? Okay. Oh, I love this card. The first card I chose is empowerment. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want you to really sit with this and what it means to you. Empowerment. I stand strongly grounded, rooted, and empowered, knowing that I am exactly where I'm meant to be. And as I empower myself to be my me-est me, I allow others to be their truest selves too. So where do I feel empowered in my life? What does that look like? And most importantly, what does that feel like? Where would I like to be more empowered? How can I get started empowering myself today? So beautiful card. I love that. Very powerful card. Empowerment. That was the first. And I chose this last time. I love it. This is a great card for this month. So the intention is light. Light eradicates all darkness. I am a being filled with light, and I illuminate this inner light wherever I go. I choose to be a light in the world. So questions you can ask yourself. How can I add more lightness to my life? Where would I like to have more light in my life? And how am I being a light unto others? What are more ways to do that? So I love these cards. They're going to definitely come into play when I talk about the energy, the astrological energy of the new moon and the full moon. The first thing I want to say is we actually have our second new moon at the very end of April, on April 30th. That's going to be the new moon of Taurus. So interestingly, we're going to begin May, and we're going to have the full moon first. The full moon is going to be on May 16th, and it is the full moon in Scorpio. It's also known as the flower moon. So that flower moon, all about that energy of fun and blossoming and creativity and pleasure and play and abundance. And Scorpio is definitely it's a water sign. It is about going deeper, right? About being vulnerable, looking at that intimate side of ourselves, right? And doing that from a place of curiosity, could be fun, out in nature. Like getting yourself in nature is going to be really important this month, as much as you can. And of course, the flower moon, tapping into the energy of flowers, we have a period where you don't see the flowers. They are, there's a lot of darkness, right, in the soil. And the seed that's been planted, you're not going to see it until it starts to pop up around now. So it's like that remembrance, that light at the end of the tunnel that comes after darkness. So if you are been in a dark period of your life, whether it's tending to someone who might be ill or grieving some loss, or it could be a physical loss or a loss of a job or opportunity, or maybe it's a health concern, whatever is going on. What I'm hearing and feeling is to stay in that place of power and empowerment and know, just like the cards I chose, light is on its way. It's even, for those in the Northern Hemisphere, I know we have people in Australia as well, but for many of us who are here in the Northern Hemisphere, we are having longer, lighter days. And so this is almost a promise from Mother Nature. So really tapping into this flower moon energy, this energy of fertility and of healing. And when I say fertility, yes, it could be perhaps you are looking to have to get pregnant. It could also be fertile with ideas, with creativity, innovation, having that fertile soil, that fertile mind. And this is what's coming to me as well with the word empowerment, is in really looking to create a fertile mind, like fertile soil in your mindset. And so what are those thoughts? Notice what you're saying to yourself. Notice what you're noticing, because those thoughts, those are the seeds that you are planting. And so we want those to come from the most empowering place possible. So really notice what you're planting in that fertile soil of your mind. Make it that fertile soil in your mind that has nutrients, that's nutrient dense, that's, the best soil possible. And you could even think of, regenerative soil that, we're thinking metaphorically here. But as you plant those thoughts that you're having, they are planting the seeds of what is going to continue to blossom and to grow. So we want to come from that empowering place. Is it life-giving? Is it affirming? Does it make you feel connected? Does it make you feel more loved and loving and feel like you are more connected? If yes, then continue with that thought. If no, become aware. And I'm a big fan. I used to love listening, and I still do, to Louise Hay. And she would always say, thank you for sharing. Just say to yourself, thank you for sharing. Pick a new thought. That's one of the gifts, is that we have, as human beings, we have free will, and we are always going to have thoughts. The gift is we can choose the thoughts. So we can't stop thoughts from coming. However, we can choose the thoughts we want. We can pause, stop, look and see, notice what we're noticing, be kind to our mind, and choose. So I'm really getting and hearing that empowerment is so important. Are those thoughts that you're planting, are they empowering? Because if they are, what will happen is, just like the light is getting, having longer days, there's light at the end of that darkness. You're going to feel lighter. You're going to have more lightness, and you're going to be able to shine your light in a much bigger capacity. So really, really, really tuning into this beautiful full moon, flower moon energy. The other thing that you could do if you want to connect to the essence of flowers, to the healing properties of flowers, is you could, get a little crafty. You could make potpourri on the stove. You could create little floral sachets that you put in your drawer or your dresser. You could make a flower arrangement, or take flowers and dry them and frame them, or make cards and put little dried flowers on the cards. You could make your own, rose water. Take the essence of rose or little droplets of rose oil and add that to water. You could do that in adding, a lavender or a rose or gardenia oil to your diffuser. You could also create baths. If you're into taking baths, add some of the essence of your favorite flower. So having that around, getting some really good organic floral oils can be a great way to bring in that essence of the flower moon. So that's going to be the full moon. Then we get to the new moon at the very end of May, which typically we have the new moon first in the month, but in this month in May, it's going to be the very end on May 30th. And that day, we're going to be having the new moon in Gemini. And this is all about that connecting into need for change, spontaneity, communication, communicating what's important to you, communicating to yourself, kind things. Remember going back to that word empowerment, that intention, connecting in and communicating empowering thoughts, words, mantras, affirmations to yourself, right? Really, really important. It's also an important time to be flexible, right? And to tune into that beautiful Gemini energy of curiosity, love of learning, communication. And so, looking to see how you can bring in more empowering words with yourself, with your communication with others, and how you can stand in and be a greater light. So we're going to take the energy of light now, there's more light happening for most of us, and that's going to help the plants and the flowers to grow. That's going to extend our days. We're going to be having longer time with the sun, more opportunity for vitamin D, and then also look at how can you expand your light? What would that look like and feel like? How can you be somebody who really builds your capacity to expand your light? And what I'm hearing is to receive light. I've talked about this before and I'm really feeling it. It's a time to learn how to open the valve, open yourself to receiving more light, being more light, right? And one of the ways to receive more is through empowerment, feeling empowered. And if you're having a place where you're not feeling as empowered in your life, look to see what is working well. When have you felt empowered before? Where do you have a sense of feeling grounded and empowered? And really focus on those areas. Oftentimes, what we focus on does expand and can carry over to another area of our life. So looking to see, where am I feeling empowered? And where would I like to feel more empowered? And knowing that is very much connected to you being a greater light. The more empowered, the more connected you feel to your voice, to your purpose, to yourself, the more you're going to be able to share that. So I hope that that is helpful. And I would love to hear from you. What are you getting from these intuitive guidance messages? What are you hoping to really create for yourself this month? How are you going to add more play and pleasure? What does that look like? How might you get more into nature? Add more walks, more time in the sun, more time to really notice what you're noticing, your thoughts. How might you add in more empowerment? So would love to hear. You can share, of course, in the You-est Facebook community. You can share here on YouTube right below. Just leave your comments. I read everything and respond and would love to know, how are you tuning into this beautiful energy and how are you using it so you can feel your best and be a model and a mirror for others to be their best? So as always, my friend, I love being here with you. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you soon in June. And I'm just wishing you a powerful month of May. Remember those cards, empowerment and light, that when we stand in that rooted, grounded place of empowering ourselves and of feeling empowered, feeling worthy, knowing that you're worthy just because you were born, right? That as we do that, we emanate more light. We're able to be more of a light. We're able to receive more light, more goodness, and we're able to hold that for others. So may you continue to expand in your own inner empowerment, spreading that to your community and the world, and being a greater light. Lots of love as always.